Say the weird thing. People are desperately seeking realness.
I was quite surprised to see you use the word aborigines talking about African Americans.
You know, I've dealt with that issue.
The aborigines of these lands, now known today as America, were made slaves when the invading colonials arrived. But through the funding of the church, manifesting as Spain, Britain, and France, these colonials devised a plan in conquering the rest of the Americas. Spain knew of these lands before Columbus. They had struck treaties, or in other words, paid off or forced the indigenous leaders to give up their lands. The history books don't teach about these remaining empires in America during the 18th century. This plan was really a plan to wipe out the remaining threat of aborigines and to create a false identity by shipping many blacks to Africa to create this society off the coast of Africa. They made up the lie of the Civil War in order to make you believe that they fought for black people's freedoms. The many abolitionists who developed during this period were said to be against slavery, but this is just a setup. It's like philanthropy. They wanted to make themselves seem like the redeemers, when all they did was completely brainwash and replace the sense of self with a foreign entity. Thomas Jefferson did reply to this plan by Anne Mifflin and said that this would be the most desirable measure in which could be adopted for gradually drawing off the black population. He endorsed it and thought that it should be the highest priority for the United States to make an establishment off the coast of Africa. This plan was well received by the rest of these forming new colonies in America, and the plan began to remove and indoctrinate the remaining population of the aborigines of this land. These abolitionists from the North did not care about black people at all. Common for his times, Jefferson believed blacks were inherently inferior to whites and thought it was best the two races remained segregated. Many of us were given false histories, and our homelands were forgotten. But on a greater scale, our spiritual identities were lost. A new age began where we forgot about our own structures and architecture and the very cities that we now currently all share in America. The colonials did not build these cities. The groundwork for all major cities was built upon an existing civilization. That is the secret that has been kept from our education in order to enslave mankind under an exterior god, the god of materialism and death.